Welcome to our house. This is the Screenplay Podcast NFL Draft Series Edition. I am your host, Evan Grenis, and with me, as always, a PGA Tour player, Andrew Novak.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy to be back. Can't wait. It's NFL draft season, and it's time to talk some football.
We're getting closer to calling you PGA Tour champion, Andrew Novak. One of these days, we're gonna start saying it.
Couple close shaves, yeah.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Screenplay_podcast. New episodes every Wednesday, 8 a.m. next couple weeks for the NFL Draft Series. We got a new logo, yellow and black. It says the SP on it. A lot simpler, a lot lighter. So if you're looking for us, that's what you're looking for. Since our last pod, you were able to grab another top three finish a few weeks ago at Valero. How was it out there?
Yeah, it was a difficult golf course. It was very windy. There's a lot of crap around. Um, just a good, tough test of golf. Played pretty well for the most part. Just a few little things kind of kept me from winning, but it's just got to keep putting myself up there, and one of these times it's going to go my way.
Exactly. I love that answer. This is a question that I certainly have. I don't know if like some of the other people listening have. Like, you're a PGA Tour player. It was Masters Week. Masters Week is fresh on our mind. What are you doing during Masters Week if you're not playing? Are you watching it? Are you watching every minute of it? Are you out there grinding? What's going on for a PGA Tour guy who's not actually in the field?
Yeah, obviously this is a big week for me now, playing in the Heritage, so I had to, make sure I was practicing and prepping for that. But I absolutely had multiple screens going,
Okay. Yeah.
got the Amen Corner stream, the featured group stream. You got to have everything up. So yeah, that's my favorite tournament to watch ever since even growing up. I've probably put as many hours watching the Masters as pretty much anybody. I think I'll run my course knowledge up against anybody, especially considering I've never actually played in the Masters tournament.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll be walking the grounds out there next year. Got pretty close
That'd be
this
awesome.
year. Yeah. Let's get into our football talk. That's what we are, football podcast. Off season. Off-season football. Before we get into the draft, we'll get some off-season talk going. Just to recap some of the things. Who had the best off-season? Who had the best off-season and why? What do you got?
I debated a few. I think there's a few teams that did a fantastic job this offseason. Your Patriots, I think, did really well. Minnesota, I think, has positioned themselves really well. But in my mind, I think Washington has done the most as far as positioning themselves to be a very serious Super Bowl contender this year. I thought they did a fantastic job with their signings. I think re-signing both tight ends that they had and multiple wide receivers that they had
Mm,
from the team last year to obviously keep Jaden Daniels comfortable with those guys, and then also infuse talent like adding Debo, improving the line with Laramie Tunsil. I feel like it's the perfect mix of him being comfortable with guys he's already worked with and also just adding on top of that. They also, helped their defense. They made sure to get Bobby Wagner back, who had a sneaky good season last year, and for being up there in age, and adding a guy like Javon Kinlaw. Obviously, he disappointed a little bit in San Fran, but with a lot of the losses they've had on the D line in the last couple of years, I feel like that was necessary for them to go out and get somebody. I would not be surprised to see them touch D line and in the draft as well, but I think that was a necessary signing for them to go make.
yeah, I like that pick. I got down here the Bears. It seems like a lot of years
Yeah,
now we're having some hope for the Bears, but I really feel like this is the year where they're going to turn around. I mean, Ben Johnson coming in, bringing a bunch of coaches. First of all, you hurt the Lions by bringing Ben Johnson over. Well, you would think you would hurt the Lions. So just hurting your another team in your own division, positive for the Bears. They also go and fix that O line. They get Joe Tooney from the Chiefs, Jonah Jackson from the Rams, center Drew Dahlman from Atlanta. So sure up that O line, give Caleb a little more help, and then with Ben Johnson knowledge, get that backfield going. I'm sure their running backs, whoever they draft or have now, is going to do a great thing. So I like what the Bears did this offseason. I also like what the Rams did this offseason, re-signing Stafford, getting Devontae. So what it tells me is like the next year or two, they're really going to go for it here. Go cheap on defense and get the pieces they need. I like what the Rams did as well.
yeah, I think it makes sense. Just that the Rams are kind of on a schedule with Stafford. I mean, I would not be surprised if the Rams have legitimately a top three pick in the draft like 3 or 4 years down the road. But this next two,
Right.
3 year window is their chance to try and get one more with this core.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the other side of it. Worst offseason and why?
Uh, I went with San Fran. I really
Mm.
it's tough to
They completely changed up
obviously
their motto of let's pay
yeah.
everyone to let's pay nobody. Like,
Well, yeah, they're having to prep for an upcoming contract that they're going to have to pay, assuming they're going to pay Brock Purdy. And that's kind of, I mean, you could see how with some of the decisions, how it went, like the team got worse this offseason. I think if they're going to re-sign Purdy, it's what they had to do. I'm not really blaming their front office. I'm not saying they were doing stupid things. I think they're just doing what they have to do because they know they have a contract that they're about to have to tech. Typically when you have a
mhm.
quarterback and you're going to sign them to 50 million a year, at least they were on 10 million a year off their rookie contract, or at least like something because you
Yeah, now
drafted
you're
them
jumping
early.
up from $1 million a
Typically they're
year
not.
to 50 times that.
So it's like it's almost more of a jump than what you'd even be used
Yeah,
to
I didn't consider
for
that.
seeing a quarterback. So losing Debo, they lost all kinds of defensive players. They signed Mac Jones, a backup quarterback. They got
Yep.
Demarcus Robinson, who's like a vet receiver. It's just little stuff. They just don't have much money to work with, and I think this team was, now they were very injured, but I think this team was better in like December, January than they are currently.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. Director of player personnel, Duke Tobin, at the combine said they would make Jamar Chase the highest paid player, non-quarterback. And then Myles Garrett got paid, so that just bumped up his price an extra, I don't know, $5 to $8 million a year. So they just paid Chase, they just paid Higgins. You could see this as potentially a good offseason. I view it as like one of the worst things ever. As the Bengals owners, they might only be interested in just like being relevant. If that's the case, then like congratulations, like they will be relevant for the next 4 or 5 years. You got Burrow, you got two great pieces, but I mean, I see this as a direct write-off as contending for a Super Bowl. You now have Burrow, Chase, and Higgins taking up 34% of your cap. That is unbelievable. I mean, I know that the cap goes up every year. The salary cap this year is about $280 million, but still 34% of your cap on three players. I just think that's writing yourself off for trying to get to a Super Bowl. I think you're just trying to stay relevant, unless you're going to go out there and score 56 points every game. Um, I don't know what paying all both those guys is going to do for you. Keep Burrow happy. I don't know. I don't like the offseason move by the Bengals.
I hard disagree there. I think your entire offense is your 36% right there, basically. All you have to do is just go smash O line and defense for the next three drafts, and you'll be pretty much set 2 3 years down the road. It's good for morale. It's good for Joe Burrow. All three of those guys are going to be showing up happy and motivated. Um, I think it was something that they needed to do, and I think that it's something we'll look back on and be like, "Wow, that was good to keep that core together." Because obviously, when they are healthy, they work. They put up points on anybody. You don't need a good running back. You need a half decent offensive line, and that offense is pretty much unstoppable.
When
Uh,
when when do you hear teams say, you know what, offense wins championships? When do
it,
they say that?
okay, but you just said they have 64% of their cap available. You can go get defense
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
All you
No,
have to
they
do
they're
is
gonna
draft
have to they're
defense.
gonna have to
Like
draft some defense this draft, do a lot of drafting on defense this draft, and hope they
it's
hit.
it's kind of the opposite, a little bit the opposite way of, you get the rookie quarterback and stack everywhere else. Between those three, you are set on offense. You pretty much know your offense will be able to score points. So now you just have to figure out the rest. If that's rookie contracts on defense, whatever it is.
All right. Well, I
Uh,
mean,
I, I,
okay. If the Bengals are going to do anything with these contracts, like this upcoming year is like probably their best chance of it. Because by the end of these contracts, it gets pretty bad. By the end of the contracts, you got Burrow getting 53, Chase getting 41, and Higgins getting 33 in 2028. I mean, yeah, you gotta hit early based on these contracts. Next 2 years is the Bengals opportunity. I hate this contract. Obviously you're on the other side of it. Any other teams here with just some bad off seasons?
I, I basically just had San Fran down. I think there were a few other teams that um, maybe could have done a little better. Like Detroit, obviously losing like a Ben Johnson, but I don't want to hold that against them because like that's kind of out of your control.
Right. I
I
will
think they'll
throw
bounce back fine, but
Yeah, I will throw an honorable mention in here. Always got to throw the Cowboys in here. Just absolutely terrible
I'm
offseason.
surprised you didn't go with that.
The Giants got better. The Commanders got better. The Eagles stayed the same, but they won the Super Bowl. So, but what did the Cowboys do? They added Joe Milton. Cool. Backup quarterback. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's good. Maybe he saw some video from Patriots training camp and thought Jerry would be the smartest guy in the room again. Go get another deep round quarterback. They added Miles Sanders, added Javonte Williams, let go of Rico Dowdle, who went to your team in Carolina, had a good season last year. I hate what the Cowboys did. They're keeping it going. All right. Let's get into free agents. Top free agents still available. Who's out there? Who should take them?
Overall, in my opinion, the best one available right now is Amari Cooper. Playmaking wide receiver. Obviously, he's been up and down. Like, some people love him, some people hate him. He has been inconsistent, but I think he's a guy that a team can go out and get and can instantly improve your offense. I think you're looking at teams like I have the Patriots in here. I think he could do well there. I know they just went and got Stephon Diggs. That might be a little bit too much drama to be adding there, but adding weapons for Drake May, obviously a positive, especially if they're not looking to go grab wide receiver in the fourth pick there. I think a team like Green Bay, Jordan Love has shown he's pretty good when he has guys that can stretch the field, but Christian Watson cannot stay healthy. I think Amari Cooper is the kind of guy that can stretch the field and open things up underneath for that offense as well. And I've got a team, actually, I've got Dallas in here. I think Dallas has a lot of needs in the draft. It might, I don't, I think the wide receiver depth is great in the draft, so they could go maybe wide receiver later. But to prevent them from having to grab one early, I think they could maybe sign Amari Cooper. He obviously had success there in the past, and then they could focus more on filling other holes early in the draft, and then loop back and grab another wide receiver later.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there. I have Keenan Allen down here, and next to Keenan Allen, I got the Cowboys. They need wide receiver help. Other than CD, it's pretty bleak there. I also put Titans next to Keenan Allen. I think he could help a young
Yeah,
potential Cam Ward coming in there. The other top free agent still available I see here, I got Mercedes Lewis, second oldest active player in the league behind Aaron
top
Rodgers.
free agent. Come on.
Now, not so much as a player, just a locker room guy. Sometimes you need those locker room guys win championships. And he's a tight end, so I was looking at teams. I was like, who needs a locker room guy at tight end? And Atlanta, ATL, their top tight end right now is Kyle Pitts, immature, terrible tight end. You got a young quarterback in there with Penix. Get Mercedes Lewis another, was he 40 years old? Just get that 40-year-old into the locker room. He'll have what, 6 catches and have a
He can
another great
block.
year. Yeah. But locker room guy. All right, individual storylines that we got to get to. Probably one of the biggest one. If you turn on the TV, they just can't get through a day without mentioning this guy's name, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, where is he going? Is he even going to play this year for a team? I don't know. Any theory is a good theory right now, but where do you got Aaron?